Hi, everybody. This is Tamara Kelly from mooglyblog.com, and we are live. It is February 18th, 2026, and I thank you so much for joining me today. It has only been 2 weeks since I've done one of these, but I feel like, it's been one of those times where you've lived a lifetime in 2 weeks. We had a small family emergency. Everybody's okay, thankfully. But it means I got to go out and visit my sister and niece for a week last week, actually over a week. I was there for almost 10 days in New Mexico, which was a lot of fun. They live near Albuquerque, and that's all I'm going to say for their privacy. But it was a lot of fun. It was really neat. I haven't spent much time in New Mexico before, so it was really lovely. Um, Beautiful weather. Got to enjoy some actual sunshine in February, which living in Iowa is was absolutely wonderful and very much needed for sure. And it was just really lovely to spend a week with a 6-year-old, which has been a long time since I've had a 6-year-old as my companion while I crochet. So that was a lot of fun, and we got to do even some of the pot holder looming. You guys remember that? I know that's probably one of the first crafts I did, and definitely got me hooked. So it's really fun to see that those are still popular with kids, and I think that pot holder to crochet pipeline is definitely still going. So that was a lot of fun. So thank you all so much for joining me here today live or watching later if you're watching the recording. Hi, Stacy and Margarita and Anna and Rosetta. Thank you so much for joining me. So let's go ahead and get into it. I was gone, but I was definitely still busy and things still happened. So first and foremost, we've got the Moogly Crochet Along 2026, block number 3. This one is courtesy of Fiber Flux. Make sure I'm holding it up right side out because the right and wrong sides are very, very similar on this one. And you can see, hopefully, here that this one is made of motifs. Each one of these are little squares. And then on the last round, they're joined together. So no sewing. Don't worry about that. This is what the back looks like. You can see why I had to take a minute to see which was which before I held it up. So beautifully reversible. Lots of great texture here, so many different ways you could arrange this with your color choices. It's been a minute since I made this one, and I've actually made the next one since. It's blocking, coming tomorrow. So I don't quite remember. I want to say I think I skipped one row on this one for size, just to make it work. But the great thing is there are 2 or 3 rows written in around the whole outside here. You can see the whole border. So that makes it very easy to adjust for size. You can always, go down to a single crochet if it calls for a double, or go taller, add an extra round, whatever you need to get to that 12 inches. As long as your squares, that your little individual squares aren't too big, too big, then you'll be able to figure it out. Mine were probably just a hair big, which is why I needed to cut around from the border. But you can see it is a really fun square. You can orient it any way. I'm not sure which way it'll end up going in my blanket. I tried to mix up my colors as best I could, but of course there's, a little overlap in each row. But it was a lot of fun laying this out, and I actually got my 18-year-old to help me figure out what order these squares should go in. So this was a lot of fun. So thank you so much to Jennifer from Fiberflux for this gorgeous, gorgeous design. Lots of fun. And of course, I think both she and I used the Brava worsted weight yarn for our squares for number 3. I'm using Brava worsted weight, of course, throughout the entire crochet along. Our designers have a few other choices, including Swish worsted, Jimmy Beans wool beanstalk, Broco vintage, and Mad Tosh vintage. I always have to look at my list because it's a long list. But this is the one I'm using, and I think this is the one Jennifer used as well, and it is great stuff. So, yes, like I said, block number 4 comes out tomorrow. Because of my traveling, I was a little late getting it all written up, but I finished it as of yesterday. Another gorgeous square. This next one, very beginner friendly. So if you've been a little intimidated so far, start with this next one. I think you'll love it. Just make sure, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a little hint, have lots of stitch markers handy. You're going to want to have, I think I figured out about 7 stitch markers while you're making that one, but it'll be worth it. All right. So that is the newest crochet along square. Let's see. Hi, Shannon from Nebraska and Rosetta. Thank you guys. I'm so glad you like it. Now, I have a new pattern as well that I designed out on mooglyblog.com. And this is the Fab Flower Basket. And I want you guys to see, I am live holding this up here. Can you see? This stands up. This is a basket, a crochet basket that stands up on its own. I'm not doing anything special to this. It hasn't been stiffened in any way. You can see there's no, like, I don't know, plastic canvas. a tool I like to use to stiffen things, but I didn't have to use any of it for this project. This basket completely stands up on its own. And it's made using a brand new yarn that is apparently very popular and hard to get a hold of, but it's sold out. So I know some of you have it out there. So I went ahead and put the pattern out because if it's sold out, it means somebody bought the yarn. But this is what I have left of it. This is new Bernat Fab. It's a brand new yarn from Bernat on Yarn Inspirations. This one may or may not be in select Walmart stores. I know their future line is. I'm not sure about this one. But right now, at least on Yarn Inspirations, it is sold out. I hopefully that means they'll be getting some back in soon. I don't know if they expected it to sell as well as it did, but you can see, let me hold up just one of them here. You can see this is a really, really unique yarn right away, right? It's not so much like yarn as we typically think of yarn. It is a tube of fabric. Let me find the end of it here. See if we can get that to focus on the camera really well. Do you see that? It's a tube of fabric and it's got stuffing inside, kind of like a polyfill stuffing. So the fabric itself has this gorgeous print on it. So it might remind you a little bit of t-shirt yarn. T-shirt yarn was kind of like a folded over sewn t-shirt. You can still get it on different brands. But with t-shirt yarn, it wasn't stuffed, and you kind of had to take your chances a lot of times. Some manufacturers have standards colors for their t-shirt yarn, but a lot of them it was made out of actual t-shirts, and you were kind of up in the air about what sort of print you were going to get. With this, you've got the same print throughout. There it goes. And you can see it's a really fun and beautiful floral print. I only ended up with these two skeins myself, and I used a little bit of each one. But let me hold up the yellow here so hopefully we can see the print on that one. So similar, they all have sort of a similar floral print, but they've got different background colors, and the prints themselves are just a little bit different. But really, really fun stuff. Let's see, it's got not a lot of stretch to it, maybe just a hair, a little bit of stretch to it, but it is really fun to crochet with. So to crochet with it, you do need a bigger hook. As you can imagine, this is a 7 jumbo weight yarn. 7, if you get confused on that, um, can be confusing because it's sort of a everything that's this big and above. So if you're following a pattern and it calls for jumbo yarn, you're going to need to take a closer look at that yarn and what that means for that project. Because this is a jumbo yarn, but so is that great big, like Bernat Big or extra thick, which is like this big around, which this stuff definitely, once you get all tangled up, this stuff definitely is not that big around, right? So jumbo is a really, really wide category. But this stuff is a little bigger. You can see when you work it up, it's got great stitch definition, but also great body to it. So to get this, I used a 15 millimeter hook, I believe it was. Let me find. Yes, 15 millimeter. If you've got a 16 millimeter at that point, honestly, I'm going to say the same thing. 15 millimeter, 16 millimeter, either of those work. When you get to a certain size, that 1 millimeter really isn't going to make a difference. You can pull your stitches a little tighter if you need them a little tighter. You know, it's not going to make as big a difference at that point. If it was a 3 millimeter versus a 4 millimeter, you're going to get a big difference, right? 15 millimeter to 16 millimeter, try that again. 16 millimeter, in my experience, you're going to get the same results. So that's the hook I use. This one happens to be by Furls. It's my biggest Furls. Well, not quite. It's almost my biggest Furls. But you can see we got this really cute flower basket. So there's a base that we make with the blue, and then we make the yellow or whatever colors you want to use. We make the top, and it's all made in one piece. This isn't seamed together. It's actually crocheted together as you go. So it's a really fun, very fast project. If you manage to pick up a couple of skeins of this, definitely give it a try. I will be making a video tutorial for this later today, and I'm going to have to substitute the yarn because I haven't been able to get a hold of any more to make the basket with, and I know this isn't enough to make a whole nother basket. So, you know, like I say, you can play with it if you want to make this pattern using a different yarn. Just make sure you use a hook size that gives you a nice stiff fabric, or at least as much as you can with the yarn you're using. But hopefully they'll have some more of that yarn, Bernat Fab, out soon. And in the meantime, those of you who did manage to snag it all, there is a new free pattern for it on mooglyblog.com. Let's see. Yes, so one ball of each color will make it. I only had the one ball of each, and this is what I have left of each one. So not quite enough to do another one, maybe a smaller version, play with it. Um, little bit more of the blue, but from what I measured, yeah, one ball of each color should be plenty, with a little bit extra left over. Stacy, yeah, I haven't run across it in stores either. I've only seen it on Yarn Inspirations, and it sold out super, super fast. Oh, thank you so much. I always do try and include the lefties, and yes, whatever yarn I do end up using, there will definitely be a left-handed and right-handed video tutorial for it. So thank you so much. Yes, I don't know if it's on Amazon yet, but hopefully someday it will be a lot more places. All right, what else do we have going on? The Everyday Drop Hanging Basket does have a video tutorial. That's my other new pattern. It was a basket kind of month. I feel like January, I always end up making baskets. I think it's because there's all that stuff from the holidays, and I feel like I'm all unorganized. So I've got baskets and containers on the mind. But this is our teardrop shaped Everyday Drop Hanging Basket. This one was made with just half a skein of Bernat Future Impact. Had to remember for a minute. Was it Impact or one of the new Bernat ones? One of the new Bernat Futures that is available at Yarn Inspirations and at select Walmart stores. This is a super chunky, I believe, and might be a 6. I think it's a 6. And it is super simple. We only used half a skein. And oh, here, I've still got the skein for a minute. Bernat Future Inspire. I got them mixed up. Impact and Inspire. This one was Bernat Future Inspire. Very fun yarn. This one is made of recycled fibers. So if you're into that as well, this does have right and left-handed video tutorials up now, as well as the video tutorial. And yes, use just half a skein of yarn. I've got a little less than half a skein left now because we did make that video tutorial. So what else? We have a new giveaway going. This is why I get confused because there's all these brand new yarns and I have to keep them all straight in my head. So this yarn is a lot of fun. You can see how drapey it is. It literally wants to fall out of the skein so bad. This is new Bernat Future Hope. I'm learning all these new names. That yellow is kind of hard to see. If I hold it sideways, it's actually a little easier to see, I think, than if I hold it straight on. Bernat Future Hope. You can see it's got the craft paper label again. This is another one of their new recycled line. And these are the ones that you'll find at select Walmart stores. So if your Walmart sells yarn, odds are good. And not all of them do, I know. And also on yarninspirations.com. And this is a worsted weight chenille. We've got a giveaway going for this one right now on mooglyblog.com. I'm giving away 8 skeins. They gave me a $100 budget, and that's how many I could fit in $100. But you can see, there it goes. It is a chenille yarn. So it's a lot like sort of like a Bernat blanket, but now it's in worsted weight. And you can see how incredibly drapey it is. We tend to think of Bernat blanket and those big, thick chenille yarns as very stiff. I love using them for my amigurumi because they've got great, great shape. But this stuff is very, very drapey. You can see just the way it hangs right off the skein. This is lovely stuff. Now, this particular color I'm holding, I don't believe made it into production. And that is one of the tricky things. They sent me this yarn a little bit early so I could check it out and let them know what I think and see if I wanted to make anything with it. But this yarn, I think, did not make it to the final line. So don't look for this particular color. This yarn did, I should say, but not this particular color. The color I got didn't make it, so I'm not probably going to make anything out of this, but it gives me a chance to give it a feel and hopefully give you guys a chance to see a feel and not feel it, but get a look at it. And you can kind of see it's very soft to the touch, beautifully soft to the touch. I think it's probably going to work up similarly to a lot of the velvet yarns. Let's see, we can get the label in there. You can see it's 333 yards or 6 ounces, 100% recycled polyester. It is a worsted weight yarn, and it looks like they recommend a 5mm hook or needles. Machine washable and dryable, so love that. I'm always a big fan of anything that's machine washable and dryable. Big, big fan. It's got a little QR code on there, probably for some great patterns. And there are indeed several patterns already up on Yarn Inspirations for it. So if you want to check it out, look for it at your Walmart. If they sell yarn, look for it on Yarn Inspirations and look on Moogly to enter to win 8 skeins of it. And there's only 6 colors, so you can pick out one of each if you want, as long as they are in stock. If they sell out before the giveaway's over, then they're out of stock until they come back. All right, let's see. Oh, I'm glad you guys like that. Thank you. It is really, it feels fantastic. I need to wait now until I can get a hold of a color that actually made it all the way to production. It happens sometimes. I think they always start out with a great big great big grouping and then have to narrow it down. And that must be so hard. Can you imagine having this giant field of yarn and then your boss tells you you only get to take like 6 of them and those have to be all the colors you can pick? That would be such a hard job. I'm so impressed by those who can pick that out. I have enough hard enough time just picking out the colors for my projects, let alone being the person who has to decide what colors are going to be available, right? Talk about power. All right. So, what else is going on? We also have a new book giveaway going. And this one came to me in the mail just a little bit late. So, I didn't have it before I left, but I was so glad it came while I was gone. So, I can show it to you today. And this is Fantasy Crochet. And I'm probably going to mispronounce this because I'm terrible with names, but Jessica Bertolina from Cozy Fairy Craft. And I believe she is from the UK, just by the way she's spelling fairy there, but it is a really fun book. And from what I can tell, it is written in US terms, so no worries there. I'm seeing a lot of single crochet, and that is always a tell because of course in UK terms, single crochet is called double crochet. So if you can find the single crochet, that's always a good clue that you are looking at a book written in US terms. So that is great for those of us in the US. But this is a really, really fun book. This is 16 whimsical patterns inspired by fairies, elves, nymphs, and more. And let me tell you, her creativity is astounding. And I love the way she styled these things because you can look at pictures like this and say, okay, where would I wear this, right? This is maybe to the Ren Fair, maybe for Halloween. But as you go through the book, she pulls the pieces apart and styles them with, for lack of a better term, more usual clothes, more things you might normally wear on a day-to-day basis. Like, look at this. This is a really beautiful dress paired with those sleeves that we saw in the first picture. So pulled out, individually and mixed and matched with the rest of your wardrobe, these things are actually, at least the vast majority of them, are very, very wearable. Um, really gorgeous stuff. Like here, beautiful. Just a pair of fingerless mitts. And how pretty are those? Look at all that texture and those lines. It looks like this one's made in fingering weight yarn. Let's see, with a G hook. There, my finger was covering it up. But gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. Let me try and find, like here's one of the big pictures with all the pieces together, which, is a look, is a lot. But you can pull those pieces out. Like this skirt is so pretty. There's the top with a fabric skirt. So you can see the mixing and matching. I love these tops. Even, some of them I wouldn't necessarily wear myself, but my 20-something daughter certainly would. And I think this would be really lovely. For the pool, I'd probably make it a little bit shorter. Then again, I'm quite tall, so maybe I'd make it full length. This is lovely. So just lovely stuff. Like I say, mix and match. Not every piece, is ever going to fit every lifestyle, but that's okay. Like this little top right here, I think would be so cute under a sweater for me. Again, everybody's different. This little belt, how cute is that? Very wearable. Just a little feature. So lots of fun projects in here. Indeed. 16 patterns total. I could look at this book all day. Great written instructions. Look at that. There's even charts when needed for some color work. Yeah, lovely stuff here. We'll do one more. Like I said, I could look at it all day. It's so fun. Like this cape, looks like a lot, but picture it with what you wear underneath. Absolutely wearable. Really lovely stuff. Incredibly creative. Just gorgeous, gorgeous things. Oh, got to show you this one last picture. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? What a piece of art. Love it, love it, love it. This is made with sequin yarn, which, yes. Yes, please. All right, lovely stuff. So you can definitely get the link if you want to go ahead and purchase Fantasy Crochet. It's up on Moogly Blog right now, as well as a giveaway where you can enter to win your very own copy direct from the publisher. So that is up right now. The other giveaways we've got going on right now, I told you about a couple weeks ago, a little bit longer running ones. We have this project bag, and there's 2 skeins of yarn inside. I'll be sending that one out. And these 2 should be ending probably pretty soon. The Essential Crochet Dictionary. We're giving away a copy of that as well. So that is all our giveaways. What happened? Oh, Cheryl, did you? Okay, December. Okay, I see the name Cheryl. I see December giveaway. Are you talking about the one related to Go Sadie? Those are still sending. I did get a hold of that. If there's a different one, if you want a giveaway on Moogly, and it's coming from one of these companies or whatever, let me know. Things get lost in the mail, things happen, miscommunications happen, emails get lost. Let me know. Reach out to me. Ideally, send me an email so I can figure out which giveaway you're referring to specifically, and I will absolutely follow up with that. Um, and find out what's going on specifically. Cheryl, yes, you're referring to the ones related to Go Sadie. I was actually had someone else ask me about that recently. Those ones should be coming out very soon. Unfortunately, there was a mix up on their end, and I do apologize about that, but I have been assured that those prizes will be going out very, very soon. So, again, apologize, but I've reached out and they should be going out soon. Um, yes. So if there's ever a giveaway, like I say, if there's ever a giveaway, I know we had one lady whose book just straight up went missing in the mail. It was Christmas time. Guess what? So did mine. We both lost our copies. I didn't have a copy to review. I had to go off the PDF, and she lost the one that went in the mail because things happen. So again, if you haven't gotten one, reach out. I will follow up and find out what happened. So thank you for letting me know about that. All right. Let's talk. Let's talk first about where I'm going to be, and then we'll move on to the sneak peek. Um, First and foremost, right now, what's happening right now, this very minute, is the Yarn to Wardrobe Summit, and that's an online event. I pre-recorded my session, which is why I'm able to be here with you right now. But it's a whole bunch of us. It's 20 plus experts sent in different segments about all kinds of things: sock sizing, garment sizing, making things fit better, how to pick better, the yarn that actually works with the project you want to make. I personally did a video about several different types of seaming for your garments to help take some of the mystery out of that, different seaming methods, some tips to help make it a little bit easier. And all of that is included for free in the Yarn to Wardrobe Summit. So you can get a free ticket and watch everything for like 48 hours. Now, if you want to add on to that, that's an option. But genuinely, the whole thing for the next 48 hours or so is going to be free. So you want to go ahead and get your ticket for that ASAP, like today, so you get a chance to watch everything before it's gone. And I've got a link to that in today's blog post on Moogly, along with links to everything else I've been talking about today. The other thing I want to tell you about is, and you may notice one of them has dropped off the list. The Jimmy Beans Wool Retreat looks like it's sold out, so I will be there. But before that, in May, I will be teaching 4 different classes at and this is always hard for me to say, Fiber and Fabric Craft Festival. Throw in one more F and I wouldn't be able to say it at all. Fiber and Fabric Craft Festival, which is happening in Chicago and actually runs, I want to say, like April 30th to May 3rd. My classes are going to be on May 1st and the 2nd. But this is a whole new, brand new thing. So if you're anywhere near Chicago and you're into yarn, I strongly suggest you come check it out. It's a brand new event. It's attached to an older trade show that I'll be doing the following week. But they have added for the very first time, this is called like a consumer show. So this is going to be classes. There's going to be booths where you can buy yarn and accessories and all that good stuff. Lots of designers are going to be there hanging out. So it's going to be a whole event, shopping classes right there in Chicago at the Rosemont. So I will be there, like I say, doing 4 different classes. I've got 2 3-hour long classes and 2 quick little 90-minute classes, all on the 1st and 2nd, but there's lots of other classes as well you should check out. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's coming up super, super fast right at the beginning of May. So I've got a link to that. Check it out. My classes, everybody else's classes. There's a lot to choose from. All right. So now I get to give you my sneak peek of what I was working on the whole time I was in New Mexico, besides tomorrow's Crochet Along Square. Did get that done as well. But this has been I've been sneak peeking this one for a minute. This is going to debut the first Monday in March. I believe that's the 2nd. And this is going to be a brand new blanket pattern. You might recognize the stitch pattern before, but I've used my colors and I've done my things. This is going to be a brand new blanket pattern for Warm Up America. So big, big sneak peek here. Big reveal. What do you think? Isn't it pretty? We've got sort of an overlapping ombre rainbow thing happening with all these colors. And I'll tell you what, I noticed these colors, it depends on the lighting. Sometimes some lighting, I like them more than others. In pure sunlight, I think they're absolutely gorgeous. And they are a lot of fun And this is specifically, where did I put it? I just had it. There it is. Brava Baby. So you see, I was using Brava Worsted for my project. This is Brava Baby, which is a DK weight. So this is a little bit lighter and it comes with lots of gorgeous colors. So for this one, I picked out sort of the rainbow set that they already set up on their site, Knit Picks and We Crochet, but they are coming up with some other color layouts for you guys too. I'm giving away everything early, but they are coming up with some other collections for you. You can buy, the whole set pre-picked for you, or you can pick whatever colors you want. Or since this is for charity and the most important thing is that you make a blanket, you can follow a whole other pattern if that's what you want to do. But I'll give you one more look here. There's, getting right onto the microphone. There's the front. And this is what it looks like from the back. And we just did a really simple border with some of the leftover colors all the way around. But this is, it's a shell stitch pattern. Lovely stuff. Very easy to memorize, which I think is important too when you're doing a blanket. You want something you can make and just relax with. And of course, like I say, the whole point really is just to get people to make blankets for Warm Up America. So if you're not familiar with Warm Up America, it is a charity. It's a full charity organization, and they distribute blankets and hats and scarves and mittens to those who need them all around the U.S. Anybody who's cold, right? So most of the year, they collect 7 by 9 inch rectangles, and then they have volunteers that put those together. But they do a couple of different initiatives every year. And for the last couple of years, you may have noticed in the fall, I would do a hat, scarf, and mitten drive for them. And this year, they had some schedule changes, and the person who normally does the baby blanket in the spring wasn't available. So I said, "Oh, why don't you give me a shot? Let's try it. Let's do a baby blanket. It's been a minute since I've made one, and I miss it." So came up with this pattern. I haven't written it down yet, but it is going to go up, like I say, that first Monday in March. And we're going to have all of March and I believe the first half of April to finish as many baby blankets as possible, whatever pattern you want to make, and send them in to Warm Up America so we can warm up some babies this year as well. So that is the newest, will be one of the newer ones coming out. I actually have another pattern coming out yet this month. So that's way down the line. I'm not even going to sneak peek that next one. You have to wait till Friday for the newest pattern on Moogly. So tomorrow there will be a crochet along square. Friday there will be a brand new pattern. And then on Monday, the first Monday in March, we'll have that brand new baby blanket. And in the meantime, lots of fun stuff like video tutorials as well. So that's my big sneak peek. Again, I used Brava Baby in DK. If you want to make whatever blankets you want to make to send in to Warm Up America, that would be fantastic. The only requirement, as far as I know, is they do ask that they are made out of 100% acrylic so that they are washable and dryable in the machine, right? When you're giving a blanket to charity, one of the things to keep in mind is we want it to be easy care. So machine washable, washable, dryable, DK weight, worsted, both are fine. Just go ahead and make as many baby blankets as you can, and we'll send all those in starting in March. So I'll have more information on that, obviously, March 2nd. All right, so that's our biggest sneak peek, and I think, unfortunately, I think that might be all I have to share with you guys today. I've been having so much fun chatting with you. You're such a great group. I've been loving reading the comments and everything. Yeah, I think that's all I have to share with you today. But like I say, there will be a brand new crochet along square tomorrow, a brand new free pattern for me on Friday. There will be a new giveaway on Tuesday. And if all goes according to plan, 2 more video tutorials next week. And then we're on to March. Can you believe it? I know it's February, but it still seems like it's going a little too fast. We'll be on to March. March will bring a Warm Up America blanket. I'll be at Stitch Up Chicago that following weekend and so much more. I will tell you more about it as we get closer. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is always so much fun to chat with you guys and such a great way. I wish we could had time to do this every day, but alas, need some time to actually stitch, and I'm sure you do too. So again, thanks for spending your time with me today. I appreciate it as always, and I hope you have a great couple of weeks, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.